Mike, how well are you playing defense going into what is always one of the biggest games of the year?
Well, it's gonna be another huge challenge across the board. They're a very dynamic offense. Comes at you a lot of different ways. They have a physical presence, and they have good speed out on the perimeter. So they stretch the field with those receivers. So again, we're going to have to mix things up, try to keep them off balance, and play across the board. I think the one thing for the most part, not giving up big plays. I think are those chunk plays. We've been good the majority of the year, not giving up huge plays, and that'll be a big part of this game. Again Saturday, they're gonna make some plays. You got to just make them work.
The chunk plays. I mean, it's noticeable that they're not happening to you, but everybody's got to find something to pick on. So tackling is kind of that thing. How do you feel about your tackling overall, and do you feel like you're making progress?
Well, we've worked at it's been a big emphasis, and we're gonna have to be physical in our tackles and start wrapping people up. I thought we had good position on the football a majority of those plays Saturday, and got to understand our leverage better and where our help is. So all those things factor into it, and then just being able to make the plays. I think guys are, we're getting guys, more and more guys to the where they need to be, and that's a positive. That's where it starts, and now we just got to finish plays.
You mentioned, I mean, their size at receiver. Does that make guys have to be a little bit more sound? I mean, it seems like you watch a play like Buki where he kind of squared a guy up and didn't really try and knock somebody out. He was kind of sound about it last game.
Well, again, you don't want to tackle people high. You got to get them lower. You got to get them around the knees. Try to take the speed out of their legs and wrap up and finish plays. So a lot of it is where we're going too high. Sometimes we block a guy, but just got to fundamentally be sound and come with a lot of aggression.
Ellinger looks like he's improved a lot from last year.
Oh yeah, you can see their whole team has improved. They're much more mature across the board, and they play much more consistently, game in and game out. Throughout the course of a game. So yeah, they're I think they've played extremely well, and have controlled these games for the most part outside of the Maryland game. I think they've really controlled each game they've been in, and so I'm sure they feel like they're definitely headed in a very positive direction.
How big of a problem is his running game at quarterback?
Oh, you always have to be aware of it. I think there's certain situations that you have to key in on it, but his ability to pull the ball down and improvise on any particular play or pass, his ability to pull the ball on any read play, I think those are the things they certainly have. Times they like to design the run game, but there's other times where he reads it and give him options to either run it or throw it. So just have to understand our schemes and how they fit to those particular plays.
After watching the film, how was Ronnie Perkins' play, and for Kenneth Mann, and how far along is Kenneth Mann right now?
Well, I'm not going to get into injuries, but Ronnie had an excellent game. You see his athleticism, his ability to make plays on his feet. Again, I think he's just scratching the surface of where he's going, as a player, and he has that ability to make, those plays that really wow you, just because he is so athletic on his feet.
Mike, how important is it for Kenneth and Curtis to have a feel for what the other one's going to do, and how would you evaluate the chemistry they've developed so far this season playing alongside each other?
You can see it starting to gel with our, again, our whole team. There's some things that, each game become a little bit better, but those two have good, they have good communication in there. They understand where each other, try to help each other be in the right spots. So their consistency will, and their play is going to be, obviously huge in a game like this.
Mike, yesterday, Cale jokes that when the offense scores so quickly, I think all their scoring drives the other day were less than 3 minutes, that you sort of give them dirty looks over there.
I did Saturday. I was like, are you kidding me? Do you know how many plays we just played? We got to go. I said, I thought they were going to run the clock out. I was like, I was like, please tackle him.
How tough is that, though? Obviously, you want your offense to score, but
Hey, if they can score 60 every game, I feel confident we can win every game.
When your guys are on the field that much, does that take a toll on them?
Well, we've played a lot of snaps the last 2 games, but
Yeah.
that's just how it is. And these guys are young. You know, if they were old like me, I think it would definitely take a toll. But you know, these guys are 18 to 21-year-old kids, so they bounce back quick. We try to monitor that, you know, as the week progresses, and they'll all be again ready to play Saturday. So you know, we don't really dwell on it very much.
Well, for you guys as a defensive staff, I imagine between series you're trying to go over some things or things like that. Oh, great, we're kicking off again.
Hey, that's a good problem to have. I promise you. So if they keep scoring, you know, we'll go out there and keep hammering away. So you know, that's where depth, I think, comes in. That's the biggest factor, is getting more depth. I think certain positions, obviously the jack where Mark played, I think you see the attrition there has really, you know, affected our depth there. But you know, everywhere else, I feel like we have pretty good depth, you know, across the board.
Mike, you talk about working on tackling, but also allowing your guys to recover after being on the field that much. Is that a balancing act during the week? Being able to work on tackling while also recovering from a game like that?
Yeah, well, Mondays, you know, Monday's a transition day to, you know, new calls, you know, adjusting to a new offense. So, and then we get into fundamentals on today and tomorrow. So, you know, on top of, you know, keep addressing the schemes that are going in for the week. So, you know, it's just something we have to do. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get better at it is to work it and rep it. So, that's been a, you know, important emphasis, you know, obviously for us.
Mike, you mentioned the jack and the attrition there, and Mark's playing well, and you know, you played John Michael Terry a little bit there. Are there any other options? Are you moving guys around in there or anything?
Oh, we're always, you know, looking at personnel and seeing, you know, where we can make ourselves improve ourselves, not stay, you know, status quo. If you move somebody, you want to be able to get better at that position. So that's just something you're always looking at personnel and seeing, you know, what options we do have.
Mike, do you expect Trey Brown to be more involved moving forward after the game he played the other day?
Trey will always be involved. He's, you know, we have 3 corners that we play, you know, a consistent amount with all 3 of those guys. So he's certainly going to be in the rotation.
How unique is it what you guys are sorting through with Caleb, and how do you feel like he's handling this so far?
It was good. I think it was. I think it's been hard for a guy that's played as much as he has and has been a focal point of our defense. But again, I think he understands his long-term ability and where he wants to be with that ability, and so he, you know, to get in and have, you know, success. I thought he played well, very controlled. I think it gave him a lot of confidence. So again, we just kind of, you know, weigh our options and you know, work with him. He works like he's going to play every game, and we just take it as the game comes. And if those are the cards that are dealt, then, you know, he's more than on board whatever he needs to do, you know, for us and for himself this year or next year. So he's been a great, you know, team guy, and Buzzy's played well. So, but, you know, I think the toll of the season, you could see how much it weighs on, you know, each individual. So, again, we'll just continue to weigh our options.
how close is Kenneth Mann?
I'm not going to, you know what I mean, I'm not going to talk about, you know, who's playing, who isn't. You know, we're going to get all the guys ready that, you know, are going to help us, you know, play and play well. So we'll see. We're going to put 11 out there come Saturday. Who those 11 guys are, you know, everyone's going to have to, you know, tune in and watch. I think there'll be a lot of people doing that. So we'll see.
You've been a part of a lot of these. Does it ever get ho hum for you? Or is it always a little exciting?
No, it's always pretty exciting. I think for everybody, and no, it never gets old. It's a special game for everybody. Certainly, our fans, our players, for the state of Oklahoma. So it's unique and special and very exciting. I think for everybody to be a part of so many of these is fun, and you always look forward to it, no matter what the situation is. So,
For you and your defensive coaches, how much of this week is just kind of managing your guys' emotions too, with a week like this, a game like this, making sure they don't wear themselves out early in the week?
I think the intensity picks up, throughout the course of the week. So I think practices are a little bit different. They're a little more, things go a little faster, and that's good. So I think that's the way you want it going in. You don't want to leave it here, but, we want to be ready when we get to Dallas. And I think that's what you're always trying to peak, by Saturday. So our players understand that.
You've coached in a lot of these Red River Road games. What is there like a moment that kind of sticks out to you?
Oh man, there's so many. Roy's, highlights that one year were off the chart. Derek Straits, handling Roy Williams, he just kind of owned him for 3 years. So, Derek made some unbelievable plays, back then. And then obviously some of those huge wins we've had, you just never see that coming, and those were just like, those were pretty special. Those couple of those crazy wins that we just got it rolling. But, every game's unique when you play them. There's special memories, I think, in every one of them. Last year I thought we got off to a great start and then let them back in the game and certainly came back at the end. So, each game's different. That's the great thing about this rivalry. You can throw, pretty much everything out the window. You better come ready to play and be able to back it up when you get on the field, or, it's not going to happen. So, okay.
Mike, thanks.
Thanks.